A man whose only belief...
Psychic phenomenon. Does it exist?
...is in the science of reason.
Your book denies its existence.
There are no ghosts.
Has been invited...
They will want you to come and investigate.
...to a house of mystery.
Nanny is convinced that Mother comes back here every night.
There are spirits in this house.
Do you think she's imagining everything?
Don't you?
To explain how illusions...
You're awfully brave.
...can seem to be real.
You feel you don't know how to explain anything, do you?
I wonder how I could have gone so long without you.
To accept that the dead...
You mean to tell me that you see nothing?
...can come back to life.
For my salvation, I beg you.
I don't trust anyone or anything in this house.
Once you've seen through his eyes, you will believe. Haunted.
Die for me, David.
Hi, welcome to B&S About Movies.
Hello.
I'm Sam.
I'm Becca.
And together, we're ready to watch a movie. If you may have noticed, Becca's been doing her podcast. Her Over the Feud podcast. The final episode of that will be coming, and it will be 4 episodes in one.
It'll be monumental.
My baby had some technical difficulties with her podcast the other night.
It's called Parents.
So.
Parents just don't understand.
No, I'm doing a podcast. Cool, we'll come over and sit silently and listen.
No.
Oh, baby.
The parents don't know the definition of silence.
Well, let's talk about family. We're watching another movie about incest tonight. Or British people, which is the same thing.
It really is.
And that movie is 1995's Haunted.
Yes. The baby's never seen it.
It has Aidan Quinn, Kate Beckinsale. Oh. Anthony Andrews, John Gielgud, Anna Massey, Alex Lowe.
Other than Aidan Quinn and Kate Beckinsale, I don't think anybody else knows these people.
John Gielgud people know. He's been in a lot of stuff. Sir John Gielgud.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, Professor David Ash is invited to Edbrook to calm the fears of the elderly nanny of the Marielle family. Nanny Tess is seeing things in Ash's book debunking such phenomena. Is to convince her she is just tired and stressed. Soon after arriving, he too begins to doubt his senses, and watching the odd behavior of the 3 grown children doesn't make his task any easier. In fact, he thinks she isn't really tired and stressed out after all. This movie is rated R. It is an R for sexuality and nudity. It was directed by Lewis Gilbert. He directed several James Bond movies. He directed The Spy Who Loved Me, You Only Live Twice, and Moonraker, as well as the original Alfie. The last movie he did was in 2002, which was Before You Go.
I don't know that one.
A few other movies he did was Stepping Out.
Oh, yes.
Shirley Valentine. Not Quite Paradise. Educating Rita. That was a big movie. Sink the Bismarck. Johnny on the Run. Yes. He also was an actor in 6 movies. He appears in several of his movies, just in uncredited roles. And he's written 17 movies as well, including this movie, Haunted.
He wrote it?
Yeah, he wrote it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, well, the jury's out so far. I haven't seen it yet. But this movie, we looked for this movie for quite some time. This is based on
It was an early birthday present.
This is based on a horror novel by James Herbert. I'm wondering, what other books has James Herbert done? Right now, there's someone out there and they're like, I know a lot about James Herbert. I don't need to look it up online. I am a James Herbert fan. I came to listen to this podcast because I love him. He did the book The Rats and The Magic Cottage and The Ghosts of Sleeth.
That's probably what this is written about.
Yeah, he has done many, many books. Horror books.
Many books.
Horror books. A body double is used for Kate Beckinsale nude scenes. The cinematographer for this movie worked on Underworld, also with
her.
With Kate.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on the novel by the same name, known as Haunted. It has an 80% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So what do I know Aidan Quinn from?
I will tell you.
Okay, wait. Oh, I'm just gonna give a list of his movies, and my wife can tell me which of them she likes.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
Yes.
Benny and June.
Yes. Legends.
Practical Magic.
Legends of the Fall.
Yeah.
An Early Frost.
Yeah.
He is on Elementary, the TV series now.
Maybe I
Do you know
should
where
start watching it.
Do you know where he's from?
Is he from Michigan?
He is from Illinois.
Close.
Yeah, he's from Rockford, Illinois. Peter Engel.
He's from a town of good-looking men.
Oh, there's a lot in this marriage. I've noticed there's a lot of calling out good-looking men, and I never say anything about good-looking women.
She looks like a horse.
A lot of dudes really are into her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she wears all that leather in that movie.
Oh.
Anthony Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
He is best known for being on Brideshead Revisited. If you live in the United States,
You don't know what that is.
you have no idea what that is. He's the Prime Minister in The King's Speech. If you've ever seen The King's Speech.
Nope.
John Gielgud is Dr. Doyle. He is a OMCH. He died in 2000, pretty much right after this. He comes from a whole family of actors, actresses. His Wikipedia page is voluminous, to say the very least. I mean, his Wikipedia page is like 15 pages.
He did a lot.
Yeah. He was arrested in 1953 for cruising.
What?
Yeah, he was gay, and he was arrested for it, actually. But he was in a ton of movies. I'll tell you some John Gielgud movies, so you can look them up. It'd been nice if maybe they had put them in his Wikipedia page instead of writing such a long and involved thing for him. John Gielgud was he was Lord Irwin in Gandhi. He was in The Elephant Man. He was in Elizabeth, Chariots of Fire. He's the voice of Merlin in The Magic Sword, The Quest for Camelot.
Merlin.
Yes. He was King Arthur in Dragonheart.
Dragonheart.
Just the voice. He was a lot of British TV shows. He is Hobson in Arthur 2.
Arthur 2.
Life on the Rocks. When you get caught between the moon and New York City, you think it's pretty, but it's true. He's also in the first Arthur as well. He was in Caligula. Have you ever seen that movie?
Don't think so.
It was produced by Penthouse, but it has all big actors in it, really big Shakespearean actors playing all the roles.
Yeah.
And Bob Guccione, who's the guy who did Penthouse, at night,
Yeah.
he would sneak on porn stars onto the set and shoot all the sex scenes. So when the movie came out, all these famous actors were in it, and they were like, wait, there wasn't any penetration when I was there.
What?
Just saying. It was a crazy time to be alive. It was a big movie to get in high school, because it was the only porn movie that was on the shelf. Because you'd be like, oh man, they have Caligula.
Did you rent it?
No, I never saw it. It seemed kind of stupid. I don't want to learn about history any more than I have to, right?
Yeah.
I've learned... No, I'm fine. Alex Lowe is another British character actor. And Victor Shallot plays Juliet Ash. There's a lot of people that have only done British things in this.
Well, they're all British other than him.
This feels like I'm going to be watching a very British movie.
It's not bad, though. It's good.
I think this is a movie that, honestly, I spent, I'm going to say, a good 3 months looking for. It is $50 to $60.
That's how I know he loves me.
And it was an Easter gift. It was going to be a birthday gift, and it came in soon.
But he couldn't wait, because someone can't wait to give people presents.
I'm like,
but then when you try and give him a present, no, I don't need it.
Don't like presents.
You got good presents for Easter.
I did. Why don't we review that?
What?
Doctor Strange.
You have to wait till next Easter for me to watch it. That's
No,
your present
I think
next
you would
year.
like it. Benedict Cumberbatch is in it. And it's about magic. and he's a
Oh,
surgeon.
that just sounds great.
But you like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's in the same vein. It doesn't fit into the regular Marvel Universe.
Okay.
It's about magic and other dimensions and doctors.
Now that you put it that way.
Yeah. It's a very human drama.
There's the human stink bug in the lamp.
The stink bugs are back. If I don't know
To
where
torment me.
I don't know where people live around the country. We would like to say thank you first off, because a lot of people. Hopefully the downloads keep up, because we've been getting the most steady downloads we've been getting since my wife started doing her that Feud show. I don't get to talk on the Feud show, but I get mentioned a lot.
I say Sam at least 10 times.
And I appreciate that. I gave my wife a long theory last night on Feud, on several of the characters and how the character arcs had changed them before the end of the show, and how where their lives' journeys had brought them. I gave her my theories on it. I'm interested to see how much of it she will discuss on her show. The other episode that people listen to a lot is the Battle Beyond the Stars episode, because there's I remember we were going to Terrytown Village in Youngstown, and it was raining, and my wife was yelling at me about politics, and that ended up on the show.
It was.
It was a real.
I better listen to that one.
It's on YouTube. Those ones are on YouTube. I don't have the software now to put all the shows onto YouTube. I will eventually, but I think that's worth a listen. There's a lot. You should just go back from the beginning and remember over a year ago when we were young and in love. And
We still are.
I know, but it's different. It was young podcasters.
Oh, now we're old podcasters.
Ruff didn't know how to edit shows. Didn't know how to post them. Just wanted to podcast about things. It was kind of sexy.
Yes.
Now.
Tell that asshole said I had an annoying voice.
That was a different podcast.
He took the sex out of it.
He didn't take the sex out of it. He was doing it different. He was talking about a different podcast. Other news about Becca and Sam. What news would you like to tell the folks up there? I would say next weekend we're going on vacation.
Yeah.
Don't break into our house, because Ange will be there to kill you.
Yeah.
We're going to the drive-in to see 8 movies. Pretty excited about that. Working hard.
Yeah.
Both working hard. Both going to the gym. Not tonight, but other nights we went to the gym. Going to the gym. We just had Easter. We had meatballs for dinner.
And the broccoli tater tots.
Oh, broccoli tater tots, which were wonderful. Angelo is doing well. I worry about him constantly. What?
He had strawberry shortcake.
He just had strawberry shortcake. He stared. I think he was so transfixed by the smell of the sugar and strawberries he didn't know to bark. I honestly think that. He was looking at
He's
you.
in a mental state.
And he was like, what fucking magic is this? I am smelling something I have never smelled before.
My mom's got happiness in a bowl.
It smells luscious, and I am transfixed, sir, and I cannot even bark.
Speak.
I can't speak. Look at this thing. And then he got... My favorite part of the entire Easter, Ange probably ate conservatively
An adult portion of ham.
at least an adult and a half portion of ham. He ate an entire bowl of cheesy
Because he
potatoes.
didn't even get it all from me. He
No.
got it from other people too.
Oh, he made
Your
the rounds.
dad, my dad, my
Adam,
mom.
yeah.
Mom
No,
trying to feed him stuff he can't have.
Nobody's trying to feed him.
My macaroni salad was plain, so it had no onions or celery.
Yeah,
or whatever.
so she was trying to feed him.
give him that. I said, no, you kill him.
Oh. And then he had macaroni salad, and then he had Jell-O.
He likes Jell-O salad.
Oh, he ate so much food, and he was still hungry. He went crazy. Then he slept for 2 days.
He's still feeling the effects.
Yeah, I think, you know what, I think
It's
that's
like
what
how I get hungover now. It lasts for like a freaking week.
I think that's what it is. He's kind of, he usually wakes me up around 1:30 in the morning every night, and he woke me up about 5:30. He went out and he peed and he fell over as soon as he got back in the house. He got to the couch and just thudded under the couch and was like, good night.
Baby.
He didn't wake me up. He didn't go back out until like 11 the next morning, and then he peed for like a minute and a half. He was a little camel.
He was holding it.
We went and saw a movie in a theater.
Mm-hmm.
What was that called?
Going Out in Style.
Going Out in Style.
Michael
It was
Caine.
a solid B- probably.
Eh.
It was alright. Seemed to take a while.
There were parts that were cute, but it
We
wasn't
rented
as
some-
good as I expected.
We rented some horrible movies
Yeah.
as of late. We rented American Pastoral. Solid F.
Solid F for.
What else did we watch that we hated? That other one about the girl who was Christine. It had good ideas, but went on. How was Jackie?
I didn't watch it yet. I gotta watch it.
Oh. I thought it was Jack A, and I thought it was about Jack A from 227. No, it's about Jackie O. I was like, I don't really want to watch that. I would, if given a choice between watching a movie about Jack A going, ha ha, the whole movie and screaming and looking into people's windows, or watching a movie about Jackie O, I'll take Jack A every time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to watch Haunted. Hopefully I don't get scared. This movie is so old that there are no previews, and all that's on the front screen, it just says play movie and scene selections.
Or it just says turn it off.
I watched a movie so old on DVD that Your Hunter from the Future, that it didn't even have a menu screen. It just had a button that said play movie, play trailer, and it had the logo for, I think, Columbia. Mm-hmm. That was it. There was nothing else. Like, no other features. Just, here's the movie. Mm-hmm. Oh, we can fit more into these DVDs? Yeah. Check out a Criterion Collection DVD. You can fit a lot onto them. Also, if you would like to read further stories about movies, you can find my writing at that'snotcurrent.com. Pretty excited. Been writing some articles on there. And remember, you can check out Becca's podcast, which is Oh That Feud. Mm-hmm. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can comment here or on the YouTube links, or you can email us. So far, one person has.
Call us on the telephone.
You could be number 2. Actually, if you'd like to email us and be on a podcast, we now have the technology to have people anywhere in the country on a podcast with us. You will have to probably watch the movie before. You would have to set it up where you would watch it before, and then we would talk to you about it. But if you do that, if you would like to do that, the first person...
I will bring a stranger into this, yes.
The first person that listens to this that would like to do a podcast with us, I think this could be pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. And do we have to pick the movie, or do they get to pick the movie?
It depends.
If
they get like 5 picks, and then we get
because if you pick a movie and I'm like, I don't have that. Now, movies that you will definitely get on the show if you want to watch: Dread, Chatterbox, Curtains, Sorority House Massacre, The Car. No, I'm just kidding. You bring the movie. Points, if you really want your movie to be on the podcast.
It better be a Bridget Jones movie.
It better be a movie with a young girl going against the odds, or Keanu Reeves bucking something,
or Cats,
or have Oasis songs in it, or be about British dudes, or murder, or be based on a real murder.
Yes.
If you can or all of these things put together, I think if you can do that, we're gonna have some guests coming up too. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have Dan is gonna be on one, Devin's gonna be on one, and Bill is gonna be on one. And Bill said that he is gonna bring over a surprise movie. Mm-hmm. That'll be Trog. Yeah. But he's gonna bring a movie over.
Okay.
But we have a lot of new movies. We've been buying a lot of movies, and we would like to get sponsored. Oh, and we will be hopefully doing podcasts with a theater in town. Mm-hmm. More news to come on that soon, hopefully. Mm-hmm. If Second Spin would like to sponsor us and send us just random movies every once in a while, like, hey, why don't you review this movie? And like, cool. Like, you want to review New York Ripper? And I'll be like, quack, quack, quack.
I won't be reviewing that one.
You won't be reviewing New York Ripper with me?
No.
It's a Fulci movie.
I've never seen so many vaginas in my life. I don't need to see any more.
He hates women.
It's stupid.
It's like, this is a movie.
I watched the trailer and I
about
hated it.
About the new, you might like it. It's a murder movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a
It's
yellow.
a porno.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's a murder mystery about a guy that hates women, that quacks like a duck. We'll watch.
That is not the type of murder.
The bird with the crystal plumage.
Yes.
We'll watch. The night Evelyn came out of her grave.
Is that about your grandma?
And she's like, "Who put these salt shakers here? They're mine." My grandma steals salt shakers. That's for. She has an entire drawer in her house. All it is salt shakers.
They all probably look alike too.
My grandmother, they do, and she says they're beautiful and they're mine. My grandmother also has walked out of many Walmarts with her shoes tied together because she just finds a new pair of shoes and takes them, and shuffles out. I'm shocked that she hasn't been hit with one of those dye packs or anything yet. Flour. My grandmother also just randomly posts Facebook messages like, "This plant in your garden could be the best painkiller you've ever seen," and it's just a big picture of weed. That is a completely true story.
I think Grandma and I would have been very good friends if we were the same age.
Yeah.
When we were younger.
When my grandma was young and independent, she was a telephone operator. That's what she did with a living. You know, like whenever you see in a movie and like Geraldine, that character.
My grandma did that too.
Yeah, and she would be like, "Number, please." And she would connect the number. That was her thing. All right, well, I've been given the wrap it up signal.
Wrap it up, B.
Wrap it up, B. You see what that box says?
What says wrap it up, B?
Thanks for coming. You should start watching Haunted now if you can find it, because it's real hard to find. I mean, seriously, I spent a lot of time looking for it. And if not, we'll come back and we'll explain to you what Haunted was about. We'll give you a little feel about it. It's British. It's about incest. It's about ghosts. I think pretty much we should just start a Movies of Incest podcast. The next movie we'll be watching will be The Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I just gave away a big plot point of that movie, of why there's a werewolf. You know, I've never wanted to watch a movie all in French with subtitles that's a martial arts film about werewolves and assassins from the Vatican before. You will want to watch it. It's wonderful. All right. Thank you again. Here comes the haunting. Or no, haunted. The haunting. I said, here comes the haunting. I'm like my grandmother now. Like, or you know when you're young and you get so mad at old people for saying the wrong name for things.
Yeah.
Like, let's watch the Threes Come Together, and I'm like, no, it's called Three's Company, Grandma. Whatever. And it's like not a big deal. I'm like, let's watch Haunting. It's haunted. Next thing I know, I'm gonna be standing in a grocery store, singing a song, and little kids are gonna be staring at me. I've reached that point.
You already are there.
44. About to be 45. I was thinking the other day, I'm like, it's a good thing that I told everybody I'm 44, so then when I turn 44 this year, I won't feel old. I'm like, oh wait, I did that last year. I'm actually going to be 45 this year. And then I stood in the shower with a combination of tears and the shower beating down on me and had a midlife crisis about being 45.
Get the item that adds to your personal comfort. Cigarettes, here they are. Get the kind you prefer and enjoy them thoroughly.
So we watched Haunted.
Yes.
What did you think?
I love that movie.
Tell me a bit about it.
What would you like to know?
Just tell me about your feelings on the movie. Your thoughts.
I like it because it's kind of like a B movie.
Yeah.
And I think I like really cheesy effects.
Yeah, like that fire.
Like 1990s cheesy effects.
Like that fire.
Yeah, and the ghost, the dust ghost.
The dust ghost.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And sped up film to
And
make things look scarier.
did you enjoy watching it with me where I continually yelled, titties, every
Yes.
few minutes?
Yes. I did.
I knew this movie was going to be weird.
Yeah.
When he was walking through looking at the paintings, and he was like, titties.
Titties.
Then he realized, hey, that dude painted his sister's titties.
Yes.
And then I said, no guy draws a picture of his sister and starts with the breasts. Is this another incest movie? My
Yes.
wife said, yes, it is.
Yes, I believe so.
Yes. I like that when... maybe I shouldn't spoil this movie, huh? When the maid made the revelation, she's like, one of them was drunk.
Yeah.
like one was just like drunk. Okay,
Yeah.
well that's not that bad. But the other two, oh.
Mm-hmm.
My question
Yes.
to you about this plot.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the major plot hole and the problem I have with this movie.
What?
So the kids called him
No.
to come to the house.
Supposedly she wrote.
Who wrote?
She says, the nanny.
Uh-huh.
She says at one point, I shouldn't have asked you here.
Okay, so the nanny's the one that asked.
Yes.
Okay. It just seems weird that, like, they're the perfect age to be interacting with him, and they waited that long for this to happen. And it's like, and the house was all there just for his benefit.
Well, apparently ghosts do get older because...
Yeah, I don't think ghosts got much, like, they could eventually just be ancient.
Because when they died, they were kids.
Yeah, and they grew up.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Then why didn't his sister grow up? And what happened with what happened with his sister? That was never resolved.
She led him into the light and said, you don't have to go with those dark people.
But then the one followed him anyway.
Yes, because that's the scary twist at the end.
There's always this... You know what? I hate the scary twist at the end because it never makes sense. It's like in Planet of the Apes in the Marky Mark one where he comes back and there's a statue of Abraham Lincoln as an ape. Like, no, wait, that doesn't make any sense. I know
Halloween one does. They see his body's gone.
But that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
The end of Carrie's a good twist.
Yes.
Where the grave...
Hand.
Yeah. It doesn't... Actually, it doesn't even make sense, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody saw the end of Carrie and they're like, you know what? That little twist at the end's pretty good. Let's do it. And this one, they're like, hey, I know that we resolved this and made him a better person. Let's just have the big titty ghost show up anyway.
Baby.
That's all she did in the movie.
Hers.
They weren't hers.
Well, they were somebody else's.
There's a lot of nudity in this movie.
Mm-hmm. For no reason.
For no reason. They're like, you know what? Like,
I want to go swimming.
Yeah. They want to go swimming. And then that guy just goes running.
Well, I like how she swims nude with her brother.
Well, I mean, that's... Here's the thing.
You and Noah did it. I know you did.
No, we never did. Here's the thing.
You wish you did.
No, I don't wish. Why would I wish that I swim nude with my brother?
Because you want to be like them.
No, I don't.
Like the weird ghosts.
No, they're just British. They're like, is it incest? No, it's just British.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only difference.
So you want to be British. I get it.
No, I did when I was a kid, but I didn't want to be a toff.
Oh.
Like a twit. Like an upper class twit. That's what they're like. They're the kind of people that most of their life is spent just spending their parents' money, going around doing things. And they're like, I've only gone to a boarding school, and I've only been in boarding school with other boys. I've never met a woman before. Oh, my sister is a woman, and she's quite attractive. And you know what? I didn't really grow up with her or ever have any experiences with her, so it's really like she's not even my sister, right? And then guess what happens?
What?
You're painting her tots.
Her dots.
You're painting, and you're like, Like, they couldn't leave her clothes on when she was getting painted?
No.
I don't know about this, Becca.
I love it.
And then, like, he's a really shitty ghost hunter.
It was the time period. You didn't have a lot of tools.
He's like,
Wasn't like in Maryland and your grandmother.
like, he blew up the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
He set the basement on fire.
I think they did all that to him to screw with him.
Because what are they, like masters of fire?
Yes.
Because if you die in a fire, your ghost becomes a fire master?
Yep.
Well, you know what would have been great? If at the end he thought the girl was following him and it was that guy and he was like,
I love you.
And why did they try to scare each other all the time? They're ghosts. Like, why didn't he use his ghost powers
I think it
to
was
scare
just
her? You think he
the
did?
fact that it was off-putting that they obviously maybe did it with one another every once in a while.
And where were they going all the time? To these parties and such?
It was to trick him, so he would think they were alive.
Uh-huh.
Oops. Giveaway.
I would have liked this movie better if it was made like 20 years earlier. And
Yeah.
Barbara Steele played the girl.
Yeah.
Because then, and maybe like Baba directed it so the colors would have been
Mm-hmm.
all beautiful. The lighting, all crazy. That's what I would have liked.
Yeah.
It had, or if it was like a Freddie Francis movie, like
Yeah.
like an Amicus, little Amicus thing.
I think it could have been the story would have worked.
The story would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
I would have taken out
Maybe
the
we
incest.
should remake it.
And so, go back in time, Say, hey, Amicus,
Yeah.
can you make this movie?
Oh, I would love to go back in time.
Yeah? What would you go back in time for?
The clothes.
The clothes?
The home furnishings.
The home furnishings?
I just felt like it was cozy and...
What era?
I felt like you didn't have to have a lot of money to be fashionable.
What era is this? Like time?
I would
give me a
probably
year.
say 60s.
Mid-60s?
Yeah.
66?
Not 70s.
So like 66 to 69 probably. You just stay around there.
59 to 63.
Pre-Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I watched another movie too. We should talk about that.
What?
I watched Mildred Pierce.
Yes. It was
Starring Joan Crawford.
Mm-hmm. Name me.
Good.
I think she was a good actress.
She was a good actress.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow, Mildred Pierce's life was horrible.
I know.
It's like, did you ever read Silas Marner when you were a kid? Did you ever have to read that book?
No.
Did you ever have to read like a Dickens era novel in school?
I had Great Expectations.
Yeah, exactly. It's that kind of book. Like when we were kids, we read this book, Silas Marner. Everybody had to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like $1.60 or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a hardback book, but it was the size of a paper book. No, paperback size.
Really?
With a hardcover. Yeah, like you know how the Hardy Boys ones
like
had
those
that?
ones.
By the way, there's a new Hardy Boys comic
Mm-hmm.
with the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew as adults.
The only thing I would like for my birthday is that makeup I showed you and maybe a Nancy Drew book.
I'm working on things, don't worry.
Okay, but don't spend too much money.
I am. You know me.
Don't spend too much money. I don't need it all.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
Those are
Anyways.
the two things I would like. I already told you.
Silas Marner
Mm-hmm.
is about this old guy.
Yes.
And his life's just work.
Yeah.
He's kind of Scrooge-ish. And then he meets this young girl and his life turns around.
Mm-hmm.
And then he dies. It's like nothing good happens to anybody in it.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those books. And I was in 8th grade and I hated every minute of it. Just hated it.
To be honest, I know I probably felt like a lot of work. A lot of the books they made us read.
It were
in
just
school,
work. Yeah.
I liked them.
You liked them? I hated almost every book I read.
A Tale of Two Cities was stupid.
I liked that.
See, no.
I liked... Here's the books I liked that I remember. Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad.
Yeah.
I like that because we got to watch Apocalypse Now.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. It was kind of a horror story. I liked Occurrence at Elk Creek Bridge.
I liked The Westing Game.
What's that?
It's a money mystery
Oh.
where I bought it. We found it at It's downstairs. I gotta read it again. But it's almost like Clue, the book. It's all these different weird characters who all have all these strange names, and they
And
all
you
live
read that
an
in school too?
apartment building. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And the whole thing, the class had to work together to solve the mystery of the book. It was really fun. I remember because it was. I think we read it in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And it was the first time, you know, where you didn't have the same teacher all year. Like, we went to a different teacher for science. We went to one for English.
Yeah.
So I always looked forward to going to that.
To read the book together. I got in trouble in my 7th grade reading class because I read ahead on a test. This other girl and I did. We were like smarter kids. No, you're not bragging, just saying.
Yeah.
And she said, I told you both not to read ahead. And we're like, well, we're bored.
Yeah.
And I could fail you right now. And I was like, why are you so upset? Like this, I'm
trying
precocious.
to learn.
I'm precocious and want to learn. I love reading. I even said to the teacher, I was like, I don't understand. Like, I'm in reading. I want to read. Well, I gave you directions. And I said, because I'm a cocky kid, right? Yeah. This class isn't called following directions. This class is called reading. I always wondered.
Maybe these are the same kind of excuses he makes now.
No, but what's funny is
he always has an answer.
Here's the thing. It's amazing. I always think
to my husband about raking leaves. He'll say this book isn't called Raking Leaves.
This is the thing.
It's called Sitting.
Jeff
on the
said to me today, "Hey, you got all those leaves done." I said, "I know."
No, you didn't. There's still a bunch more.
I said, "Shh, just tell my wife."
Those leaves are not done to my satisfaction.
But I said,
I'm gonna have to do them.
No, you're not gonna have to do them. I'll get them done. Don't worry.
Okay.
But anyway.
Next year.
No, I'll get them done. I do a lot of work.
I love you.
I do a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go do the basement right now.
No.
But This movie, Mildred Pierce, reminded me of Silas Marner.
Yeah.
And that she has like a very Jobian life, like the book of Job in the Bible, like just trial after trial. And like whenever Mildred Pierce has something good happen to her,
And bad things happen.
she's like, I'm really good at making cakes and everybody loves my cakes. So I've become a waitress and I keep making cakes. And then her daughter finds out that she's a waitress. And her daughter makes fun of her. Nothing's good enough. Like her husband leaves her over a dress that she buys for her daughter. And her daughter goes, and the entire fight
dress.
was about this dress. She goes, I wouldn't be caught dead in it. Mildred Pierce is on the steps and she's like, really? I get the feeling this whole movie was Joan Crawford like firing up for that one scene. Like there's always scenes in like fights like when in New Japan, like wrestling fights, like when Shibata fought Okada, where you're like, I can't wait till Shibata comes back and slaps him in the face really hard. And there's like this exchange of slaps back and forth.
And Joan Crawford did it.
And I was like, I can't wait till Joan just annihilates this girl. And when she hits her so hard in that one scene and she goes, get out of my house before I kill you. I was like, yes, that is true Joan. She's gone Super Saiyan. She's achieved full Joan. But the worst stuff happens to her. She tries to kill herself like twice within like 5 minutes of the movie.
I know.
And you're like, and you know what? Like, I love like when the dude she's in love with is like dancing with her daughter and she's like, I don't see any big deal here. This seems to be pretty normal. He's, taking my daughter away. And then the creepiest dude, the dude who is pretty much like tried to get with her at every opportunity. Like her husband has left her 10 minutes ago and dude's like, so let's have a drink and let's just do it. Wally.
Wally.
Who's my favorite character in the movie, because anytime Wally could try to get some or screw something up, like Wally is amazing because he screws up lives and he doesn't even care. And it's not because he's an asshole, it's just Wally's Wally. Do you know what I mean? Like he's like the John Boland of my life.
Yeah.
If my life had a Wally, it'd probably be John. But I love the part where, so after all this stuff, like I wouldn't trust Wally with any girl. She's like, why don't you take my daughter home? I was like,
maybe not with Wally.
Do you think maybe not with Wally?
Not the best choice.
Not the best choice. She's drinking when she's 17.
Speaking French.
Speaking French. Making fun of her in French. And then, I like when she, like, fakes getting pregnant. And that dude's like, I'm not after all. And she's like,
I have
wow.
$10,000. I'm just going to go around and tell people I'm pregnant and get $10,000.
I like our plan of you dropping stuff on my foot so that I can get OxyContin prescriptions.
We
And then
sell 'em.
selling the OxyContin.
To pay for our
Do you see
insurance.
that billboard with that policeman on it that says, send us your expired pills?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's a front for something?
Yes.
Where it's
But I
like,
mean, if they're expired.
the guy comes like, oh, they still work.
Want them.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm the cop. Give it to me and the pills.
What is he, Jamaican or
He's
Irish?
like a little bit. He sounds like this executioner from Gore. Give it to me, the dog do snow cone. That's what he sounds like.
The what?
This executioner from Gore.
What?
He's like
What?
the doggy do snow cone.
Oh God.
It's from the song, this executioner song, from the first album. It's a great album. Hey, it'll probably air before this, so I can talk about it, right? But what if it doesn't happen?
What?
What's happening tomorrow? The big deal about the podcast tomorrow. Should I talk about it?
Yeah, you could mention it, and then
It'll probably air
it
before
does
this.
happen.
It'll air before this then. If all things go well.
yes.
I will be interviewing the Mads from Mr. Science Theater tomorrow, and you'll hear it here. And that episode will be sponsored. We didn't sell out, okay? Because we didn't really get any money
We
for it.
haven't gotten any money.
We didn't get any money, but for the Hollywood Theater in town, which is a great theater that shows
Our favorite movies.
our favorite movies, and it's where Bane came from.
It is
We
where
talked about
Bane-
Bane on the podcast before, didn't we?
And yes.
Yes.
And that's where I saw a lot of good movies during my childhood.
Yeah.
So no matter what they do there,
Yeah.
it will always have a place in my heart.
So we're gonna. The plan, as it stands now, is to do special episodes of this podcast where we discuss movies
That are playing
and
there.
events playing at the Hollywood Theater, and we'll get access to interview directors and actors from those events before they
Now,
happen.
does he have, like, usually... They don't ever just play movies to play them.
Yeah,
It's
they do.
always
Yeah.
Something's going on, right?
No, they have movies during the week that they play just to play. And we'll be doing, like, I know there's an event that they want us to do a radio spot for on this episode.
Ooh.
and we just have to write a little script and do a little commercial for it. So you'll hear that tomorrow.
What radio do they play on?
We'll be recording it for the podcast, and then they'll be doing sponsored posts for the podcast, and then we'll be sharing the podcast out in a whole bunch of different channels.
Ooh.
So if you came to this podcast from that, God, time's working backwards.
Yeah.
If you came to it from that,
Tomorrow is yesterday.
oh man, I know what it's like to be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like this. Bean.
Oh gosh, this is right in the. Oh, this shut my soul off. Good night.
Now I wake it up.
Oh, well, hello everybody. So Hollywood Theater. That's pretty exciting. I have a lot of questions for the
exciting.
Mystery Science Theater fellows, Frank Condiff and Trace Ballou. I'll be asking them. They've done a lot of stuff. Not just Mystery Science Theater and not just riffing. They've done a lot of stuff.
Those are the guys we saw in, or the thing we went to in Tarentum.
Yes. They did some stuff for that too, yeah. So it's exciting. We'll get to learn a few things. Also, next, this will probably air before that, so this will work out good. Friday and Saturday, April 20th and 29th, is the April Drive-In Super Monster-Rama 80s edition. 2 days, 4 movies.
I'll be there for the food.
4 movies, 8 movies, lots of food. Starts at dusk, ends at daybreak. Some great movies, some of my favorites, and some I've never seen before. I've never seen Madman. I've never seen I Eat Your Skin, or I Drink Your Blood, I mean. And then, but Texas Chainsaw 2, Child's Play, Motel Hell, Deranged, what do you call it? Trick or Treat. Pretty exciting. Trick or Treat's the last movie, so I'll be both sad and happy when Trick or Treat begins. We'll also be eating some good food. There'll be Texas chili, walking tacos, pierogi pizza, halushki, funnel cakes. What are you most excited about?
Food-wise?
Yeah, just the whole weekend-wise.
Being with you.
And then what? What movie are you most excited about?
Never saw Child's Play on the big screen.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that, yeah.
That stars Chris Sarandon.
Yes.
Yeah. But what did you think of Mildred Pierce?
I liked it.
That was really good.
It's a very good movie.
I think
she won the Oscar for.
I think it's amazing that house was real, the beach house.
I know. I would like to move there.
That eventually was
That's what
swept
I want for
away.
my birthday.
Oh, beach house. It swept away into the ocean.
I said, don't buy me anything, but buy me a beach house.
I said, don't buy me anything, but a beach house would be nice.
I could deal with that.
Anything else you'd like to add to this episode of this haunted and a little bit about Mildred Pierce?
Don't let my husband's non-enthusiastic feelings towards haunted.
I think it was. I mean, it held my attention. The scene with the fire is pretty funny.
Funny?
It's just like they had like a painting and the faces like flicker in and out of it. Like, you know, a couple years later, that fire would have looked really good.
I know. Well, that's what they had then.
That's what they had. There's like, oh yeah, tornado ghost. I will tell you a scene I liked in this movie.
Yeah.
2 scenes I liked.
Yes.
Actually, 1 scene I liked and 1 scene I'd like to bring up. I liked the scene with the old gypsy woman reading his fortune, and then she realized that she was a ghost and wouldn't give her fortune. And she's like, you know exactly what I'm going to say. Goodbye. I like that scene.
Yeah.
But the scene where the doctor came to treat the nurse, and she was freaking out and wouldn't...
Because she knew he was a ghost and didn't want him in the room with her.
The doctor was a ghost?
Yes. That's why his house was all blacked out like theirs.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Then why was he dead?
Just no reason. I think old age. Because he said
Why would
he delivered all of them as babies.
But why would he also be a ghost? That seems a little ridiculous.
Just that none of all that was there. Kind of like it was abandoned.
I don't know about this, Becca.
I don't know.
I don't know about this. This haunted. So, anything you'd like to plug? Besides me?
Yeah, you know what I want to plug.
Yeah.
The other podcast. Oh, That Feud.
Oh, That Feud.
And our all-star 4-part episode coming up.
Yeah,
so I can't get my shit together.
And we're almost done with Murder, She Wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be another Murder, She Wrote coming. Maybe as soon as... Maybe after the drive-in, Murder, She Wrote.
Mm-hmm.
We've been watching lots of Night Gallery, but we can't do too many shows. We'll get out of control.
I'm already overwhelmed.
And you're already overwhelmed with shows. If you'd like to read some of the stuff I write, you can go to that'snotcurrent.com. I have a series of Matt Monster articles I've been writing, as well as a review of... So basically what I've decided is if you see a review of a movie on that'snotcurrent.com, it's a movie that Becca did not want to watch with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get something out of it. So the car... it's kind of like a podcast with just me. So you have the car is up there, but you have to read it. But imagine my voice. The Car and the Sentinel and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Yeah.
And Son of Dracula. And also...
Son of Dracula is good, though.
Yeah, in its own way, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Your Hunter from the Future, which is great. I would like to do... That's my dream podcast. Is that Becca watches Your Hunter from the Future with me.
I would like to watch. I think we should watch these movies on our own.
Yeah.
Record our own versions.
Yeah.
And then put it together. And
I'm going to say that you will make it 3 minutes into Your Hunter from the Future before you shut it off.
And I'll yell at you.
And say, this movie is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you it's not. But you can go to that'snotcurrent.com and you can find my stuff there. Also, if you'd like to read some of my other writing, my friend Bill publishes another blog called Groovy Doom. If you've ever been there, our friend Bill, who will be a guest on the show soon. And he also publishes a zine called Drive-In Asylum, which you can get on Etsy. And I have an article in the new issue.
You do?
It's all about Mil Mascaras and John Carradine making a movie together. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty exciting. And it's learn a lot about Basil Rathbone in it and horror movies and all sorts of stuff. So if you're into horror movies and you'd like to read some of the stuff I write, then that's a good place to find it. My wife's already ready for bed.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah, long day. What's our next movie going to be? We bought a lot of movies recently, by the way. My Life. What other movie did we buy? North. We just watched North, too. It's another movie my wife loves that nobody likes. I would not be shocked if it doesn't show up on How to Get Made soon. It has a wide cast of characters and actors and actresses. It's a very much a late 80s, early 90s movie. Mm-hmm. But right now we've reached, I don't know if you're a movie collector out there. We've reached, oh, sorry, Ange, I didn't realize that was you. We've reached the point where everything we want costs a lot of money. The days of us finding a $2 movie at Walmart are over.
They might not be over.
For now, we got to wait till some movies move from the front of the bin to the back of the bin.
That's true.
So we got to be patient. But now it's like, like all the colors of the dark and these giallo movies that are like Arrow DVD releases, Blu-ray releases that are $40. Mm-hmm. That's where we're at right now. We're in like Criterion Country land now, where I stand in a Barnes & Noble crying because I want that what do you call it, Lone Wolf and Cub box set. That's where we're at now. But I mean, it's not it's not like we're urchins on the street begging for money.
That's true.
So always look on the bright side of life.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm Sam.
I'm Becca.
And
we'll see you at the movies.